What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Awakening World Saturday night edition. I'm Love Coach Scott Katamas, and we've got a really beautiful group of presenters tonight. And we're going to be talking about how to manage our way through these challenging times. How's it going for you out there? Yeah, you. How's it going? Pretty challenging for a lot of us, isn't it? For some people, it's personal challenges. For some people, it's managing the polarization, even polarization between family members. And for other people, it's just feeling the pain of the world, challenges around everything from the political changes to the climate change. It's a tough time for a lot of people. And we also are creating a new, beautiful, awakening world. And our show is always dedicated to inspiration and information. And so tonight we really want to hear from some extraordinary beings. And I'm really happy for making his first appearance with us is Dr. Jon Mundy, who is very involved with Course in Miracles and publishes a powerful magazine that supports that. I'm really excited that Vox is back. And I'm putting the camera on you, Vox, so get back onto camera. There you go. I saw you just as I'm introducing her. She was slipping off. Come back, come back. Our beloved Diara is with us, and we're going to see a wonderful side of her. Lenora Colin is with us. She has been a loyal member of Global Peace Tribe for a long time, so it's going to be wonderful to hear from her. Reverend Jeffrey Colebrook, he helps to introduce us to people that we love and new guests, and he's going to be introducing Dr. Jon Mundy. And you asked for him, and he is back. Straight from his Magic Castle gig, the great magician Paul Draper is with us. And we're going to learn a lot more about Paul because Paul does a lot of wonderful things. And yes, Jerry Anderson. Jerry specifically requested you, Paul.
Oh, thanks, Jerry.
Yep, so there you go. And we are really happy that kind of the newest regular member of the Global Peace Tribe, Desiree, is with us. And if Desiree is here, you know that's because she's going to support Omashar and support all of us, really, through her incredible light language. These are our guests. We also have a pre-record with a fascinating gentleman coming to us from France, Thomas Legrand. And we want to hear from all of you. So pop in the chat box any thoughts, comments, questions about these extraordinary times. And I am going to pen Mr. Omashar, who's going to get us off to a rousing start with our first song of the night.
Well, I am feeling totally pinned. Thank you, Scott. And
There we go. Welcome to everybody watching on Facebook and YouTube and our broadcast partners. And yes, it is an interesting, challenging world we're amongst now. So I'm going to sing to our hearts, and this one is called This Heart of Mine. So we'll put up a suitable background. There it is, that's suitable. And Desiree, you rock in your own beautiful way. So, my dear, here we went. Hope springs eternal in this heart of mine. Learning surrender, learning to fly, knowing you're with me, my invisible friend, loving me onwards, calling me out of myself. Here I go again, trusting in life. All of the tears I've cried, clearing the way. All that's been said and done is turning to dust. And now that I'm here again, I will sing praises to the maker of my life. I will sing praises to the maker of my life. We're divine. My heart is open, my heart is thine. I give my life to you. Your hands in this world, open and flowing, calling me out of myself. Here I go, trusting in life. All of the tears I've cried, clearing the way. And all that's been said and done is turning to dust. And now that we're here again, we will sing praises to the maker of our lives. We will sing praises to the maker of our lives. Hallelujah.
Go to gallery view.
Hallelujah.
Twinkle, our beloved Omashar.
And Twinkle, beautiful Desiree.
And thank you very much, Desiree. You bring so much, so much. It's really, really lovely, all that you are bringing to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I am going to pin myself now. I want to acknowledge that we've got people from all over the world with us tonight. We've got Dorina coming to us from Ecuador, but she also represents Bulgaria. We have Liam coming to us from England, staying up very late tonight to be with us. Thank you, Liam. We've got friends from San Diego. Mark Danisovsky is in the house from San Diego. And I saw Charlotte Frank, so that probably represents Canada. So it's always wonderful to see that we truly are a global peace tribe. And tonight we really do want to drop in and receive the gifts of wisdom from our different presenters. And so to set the tone, I am so grateful that our very own beloved Diara is going to get us off to a lovely start.
Thank you, Scott. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our amazing awakening world, our global galactic peace tribe. And so in these next few moments, call all of yourself back in. Take in a deep breath. Drop into the middle of our sacred circle, anything to be released, making room for more goodness. And in our weaving tonight, we will create a beautiful tapestry. We will come together as one. We will shine our light out into this world and beyond, calling in all the rays of celestial light, all the rays of earthly delight, and together we make heaven on earth. Breathing in this beautiful weaving of the tapestry, as beautiful Desiree weaves our DNA strands, activating cellular memory, activating codes, activating our powers, all in service to the goodness of the whole. And another deep breath in, we say, Aho, Awen, Amen, and so it is.
So beautifully brief. You caught me by surprise. Thank you very much, Reverend Diara. And we're going to hear a little bit more from her, and literally hearing from her a little bit later on in the show. Well, Reverend Jeffrey brings us some wonderful people. He's brought us many members of the International Space Federation over the past couple of years. And I know that some of you have become very close to some of the people that we met through Reverend Jeffrey, and he has done it again. He brought a friend, and so I'm going to turn it over to Jeffrey to introduce Dr. John Mundy.
Well, you ask, how do we handle this? You know, how do we deal? Hey, when you got opportunities like with the teachers, Course of Miracles is, of course, I'm all faith, interfaith, but I love the buffet of spirituality that's huge right now. And Course of Miracles is one that we can use to go through these times. You know, I love this man because he shared Missouri Mystic. It's 20 years old, but when you embody the Course of Miracles, then you've got something. And this is his story. And this is how I got hooked on Dr. Mundy here. It was Missouri Mystic, because it's his honest story of his path. And he's going to share what he's doing today. And one of the things is that he does, which is one of the ways I tap in and keep up to date with my portion of the buffet that has the Course of Miracles. And I love the Miracle Magazine. And it's a way of getting different people's views and wonderful things. And of course, we have to have our humor. And I love this. It shows the guy going up to see the guru, and they going through a little like a airport thing, and it says, "Please remove all spiritual baggage and step through the soul scanner." Anyhow, this is the kind of stuff that keeps the humor, I think, is important. And this is why what I do, and being here with Scott, this is how I stay centered, by being part of this. And now I'm going to let Dr. John Mundy share amazing work that he does that we can all tap into to help with these times using the Course in Miracles. Thank you, John, for being here.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
Well, thank you, Jeffrey, and thank you, Scott. It's nice being with you guys. So my basic study is for the past 50 years has been A Course in Miracles. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Course, but let me take just a few minutes to say something about the Course itself before we say something about how the Course applies to the topic that Scott has introduced. So the Course in Miracles, interestingly enough, this October is the 50th year since the Course in Miracles was published. And I was actually introduced to the Course a little over 50 years ago, back in April of 1975, by the scribe of the Course, Dr. Helen Schucman. I met Helen and Bill both at a conference 2 years prior to that, where Hugh Lynn Casey, Edgar Casey's son, was the keynote speaker. And we were just introduced. Nothing happened beyond that. They told me that Helen had written like this inspirational book. I don't even know if they said A Course in Miracles or not. And then in April of 75, so 50 years ago, almost exactly, Helen called me, reminded me of our having met, said she had something for me. And we both lived in New York City at the time and very near each other. I was over on 19th Street. She was on 17th Street across town, but it wasn't too bad to go across town to meet with her and Ken Wapnick and Bill Thetford, who were the primary people who brought the Course to us. So if you don't know what happened, Helen was a research psychologist professor at Columbia College of Physicians and Surgeons in New York City, along with her boss, who was Dr. William Thetford. And Helen was always a bit psychic, very vivid dreams, all kinds of interesting little phenomena what happened in her life. But at the same time, she was an intellectual, PhD, made straight A's all of her life, wouldn't take it anything less. And she began to hear a voice. It happened as a result, actually, of something that Bill said to her. Bill at one point was disappointed in their relationship. It wasn't working well. He was her boss. She was his assistant. And he turned on her one day. He says, "Look, there's got to be a way. I mean, there's got to be a way that we can get along with it. We got to work together here. And she agreed. Very kind of uncharacteristic of herself. She looked back. She says, "You're right. I'll help you find it." And then not long thereafter, she began to feel as though she was hearing this voice, and it got louder and louder. This was in June, July, August of 1975. And eventually, one day she said, "This voice has gone crazy." And it's saying that this is A Course in Miracles, I should sit down and write. And she did for the next 7 years, almost exactly 7 years, and amassed itself up into these 3 books, actually. There's a textbook, a workbook, and a teacher's manual. What's really nice is, well, it's all important, but the workbook is something, it's because you do it every day that it gives you a consistency in your life. And I highly recommend, by the way, when you get the workbook done, that you go back and you start over again. What it is, it's just a meditation. You read it, and then you do whatever it's asking you to do in the course of that day, or you try to anyhow. Sometimes it's not so easy. And what's really exciting about it is that it works. I mean, it really transforms people's lives. I don't know anything that's so transformative in people's lives. It's Christian in tone because guess who the author is? It's Jesus. I mean, that's an incredible thing to say, but it is. There's no other possibility. When you start reading this, one of the first things you're going to say to yourself, who wrote this? You know, and then you get to lines like, I never said, betrayest thou the Son of Man with a kiss. Whoa, who, there's only one person in the world could have said that, right? And of course, that would be the historical Jesus. And the more you study it, the more you realize that it's true. And the more you realize that it has to be the voice of Jesus. It couldn't be anybody else. And it's leading us into a state of peace. The foundation that was set up to publish the course is called the Foundation for Inner Peace. Now, tell me, is there anything in the world that you would like to have more than inner peace? I mean, inner peace is it. You got inner peace, you're okay. So in terms of addressing the topic that Scott put forward for us for this evening, and the world is crazy. You know, the Course in Miracles makes that really clear. In fact, it actually says, quote, this is an insane world. All right. And I might add, unfortunately, it's always been an insane world. You know, this is a world where there are wars. And there have always been wars. There has almost never been a time when there weren't wars. And it's usually about something like, you know, that's country, that's my country. I want to take that country. That belongs to me, right? And I don't care, 100,000 people have got to die or 1,000,000 people have got to die in order for me to get that. And so that's the way this thing we call the ego goes after things. Now, one of the interesting things about the ego, by the way, is what's really interesting about the ego, it actually doesn't exist. There is actually no such thing as an ego. The ego is simply a thought. And it was actually, it could never die because it was never born. You know, something can only die if it was born in the first place. That never happened, but it's a thought. It's a thought that we got into our minds. And this thought happened metaphysically, historically, with the separation. Now, the separation being the time when we split off from God. The Garden of Eden, we left. And now, the Course has got a very different interpretation on how that happened, in the sense that God did not kick us out of the garden. We did not get kicked out, right? We left. We left on our own. We left because we said, it's kind of like the, you know, thank you very much, God, but I'd rather do it myself, you know, kind of thing. You know, that's kind of when you're growing up in life and you begin to become a teenager and later and you want to get away from home and you want to go off and do it on your own, right? And okay, and God can't stop you, but he didn't push him out. That's a very different philosophy from what traditional Christianity says. According to traditional Christianity, we got kicked out. Not only that, but there was an angel there with a sword to prevent you from getting back in. The truth of the matter is that we never, this is real, just wrote a piece last Sunday on this called, we never left heaven. You never left. The Course in Miracles is very clear about that. As a matter of fact, you're even there, and this may sound strange, but you're there now. This is the dream. The Course is very, very clear about this. This experience is a dream. So actually what happens as we leave here, when we go home, and by the way, notice how with near-death experiences, people will very often start saying prior to dying, I want to go home. I want to go home. That's the identification. Heaven is home. And as I said, you never left. And that's what makes this thing a dream. And actually, for an awful lot of people, especially the people that are caught in wars or caught in the tragedies like are going on in Ukraine or in Gaza, it's hell. You know, it's kind of hell on earth. And who doesn't want to get out of hell? So how do we approach what's going on at the moment? The Course is very simple about this. First of all, anger is never justified. That's one of the shortest little sentences in the Course. Anger is never justified. So if you see the anger coming up, that means you're going off balance. Now, the Course, let me also add, is like lots of other systems of philosophies. It's a perennial philosophy. You know what perennial philosophy is? It keeps coming back around, coming back around, coming back around. So it's like Gnosticism in that particular sense that's coming kind of back around. And it's got a lot of the similarities with Hinduism, particularly Advaita Vedanta, where the non-dualism also exists. That's why you never left heaven. You can't leave heaven because that's the home again. This is a split off world. This is a split off thing, even the body. So the course, one of the things that I'm working on a book right now called All About Nothing. And the nothing is, in terms of the course, there's no world. There's actually no world because the whole thing is a dream. You're not even here. You're not a body. A body is temporal. It has a time. It's going to end. 80, 90 years, maybe something like that. And then you're going to have to let this thing go. They all wear out. We're able to extend life a little bit more now as time goes by, but still there's a limit because the body is a limitation in form. And that's an important point. It's a form. And form is not reality. Spirit is reality. We can have manifestations in form, but they're all temporary. That would even include the world. The world is temporal in that sense. Actually, sometime, millions of years from now, it will disappear. Physically, actually. But we don't need to get into talking about that. But time, too, it's a limitation. So the Course in Miracles says, God knows you only now. There's no past. There's no past because whatever is past is past. So there's nothing to hold on to back there. Whatever is back there is just something that needs to be forgiven. God doesn't keep record of your past. God only loves you. As I said, God knows you only now. In this moment of now, whatever now is an ongoing experience. So what we're trying to do is to simply be more awake in the now. One lecture that I've done recently is on lucid living. By lucid living, what do you do when you lucidly live? Have a lucid dream, it's like you're awake in the dream. Well, let's wake up here in this dream. We can be awake in this experience that we're having right now. And if you're awake, then you see what's going on. You see the dynamics, you see the play, you see the game, and you're going to make a very simple choice and a decision. And that decision is, I'm not playing. I am not going to play this silly game. I'm not going to get in there and fight. I'm not going to get fuzzing around. I'm not going to be attacking anyone. One of my favorite lessons from the Course is 268, which says, let all things be exactly as they are. Just let all things be exactly as they are. Leave it alone, because if you go off yelling about how awful the situation is and who needs to be fixed and how it needs to be fixed, and that's just going to take the peace of God away from you. So the thing is, the Course is like Buddhism in a lot of ways. It's a lot about being centered, being steady, being right here in the middle, so to speak, of the experience, but not being distracted by it, not being taken off course, literally not being taken off course. If you can maintain your equilibrium, that's going to do more to help other people who are around you than anything else is. Because you don't have, just because the world is going insane, you don't have to go insane. And the best way to, as I just said, is to help others, is to maintain your own perfect, peaceful sanity right now and at all times. Don't let anything take the peace of God away from you. I say that a lot to my ongoing students. So it's perfectly possible to do that. Meditation, of course, is a good tool for that. I don't know how many of you know about Yuval Noah Harari and his work. He is a professor of history at the University of Jerusalem, and he's done these wonderful books. They're always on New York Times bestsellers. Nexus is one that I just read recently. He spends 2 hours a day meditating. Think about 2 hours a day. Meditates for an hour in the morning and an hour in the afternoon. And in the meantime, he's writing all these incredible books. He's very peaceful. And he says he has to meditate 2 hours a day in order to continue to keep his peace of mind and his balance. That sounds like a lot to do, but even if you're doing part of that, it's very helpful to have that so that you can continue to be sane yourself. What we're trying to do here is to get back to sanity, because again, this is an insane world, and you don't want to be a part of the insanity that's going on. So things that you don't do, you don't attack. Of course, it's very clear. Attack has no foundation. There's nothing to attack. And if you're doing that, you're just losing your own peace. You're giving up your own centeredness, and you're buying into the drama. You're buying into the soap opera. You're buying into the story. You're buying into the nightmare part of the dream. And that's not going to get you anywhere except more insane yourself. And that's certainly not where you want to be. I see Jesus as someone who is very centered, very clear, and very loving at the same time, which is why he drew people to him. Everybody came to him because what you want to be doing is just you want to be giving your love away all the time. The Course is very clear about that. Just constantly giving your love away. And as you do that, guess what happens? The Course says the most basic law there is in the universe is the law of cause and effect. So what goes around comes around. As we give, so do we receive. Well, if I'm giving my attack thoughts to the world, guess what's going to be coming back my way? On the other hand, if I'm loving the world, guess what's going to be coming back my way? So I want to be doing that, but I want to be doing that with consistency. I don't want to let anything take the peace of God away from me. And by maintaining that sanity, you'll be able to help other people more than you know. Much of it you won't even know, but because you're going to have a world around you that is also sane. That's the whole idea. Now, there's a lot of insanity going on the news, on the computers in terms of the way that people are getting upset. But it's very simple. Just don't go there. Just don't eat, don't take the poison, so to speak, right? And that's what here's this temptation to give in to the insanity. It'll get you nowhere at all. So I don't know if you're doing the Course in Miracles or not, but if you do the Course in Miracles, try to do it with consistency. Try to do the workbook lessons on a daily basis if you possibly can. And the Course is it's very deep. I mean, I have been studying it for 50 years, and I still, to this day, will read the Course and I'll go, wow, look at that. Oh my God. Because the deeper you go, the deeper you can go, the more that you see. But the Course works by way of, it says in chapter 2, right early on in the Course, the main methodology is listening to the voice of the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is always there. It's always talking to each and every one of us. There's never a time that it's not there. And it's asking us to maintain ourselves. And the way you do it, you get back, you do it by hearing. You hear the voice of God speaking to you all through the day. Of course, God's voice speaks to me all through the day. There's never a time that God's voice isn't speaking to you. But if we put a lot of static around, then it's not going to get through, because you're throwing off all this junk that if you yell and scream and get angry, that's why anger is never justified, among other things, because you never want to be attacking your husband, your wife, your kids. It's never going to work, and you're going to feel bad about it. That then causes you to have guilt, dirty, stinky, awful guilt. And who in the world wants to have guilt? What we're really learning how to do is give up. We're all learning how to do this, an addiction. And the addiction isn't to a thing so much as it is to the ego itself. Because the egos are angry, egos are attacking, egos find problems, egos engage in name calling, and they insult other people. That they throw that kind of junk out into the world, And that's something you never want to be doing, that kind of stuff, right? Because again, you want to remain in that centered place where you can really do good work and you can concentrate. And then what happens is you listen to the Holy Spirit, more and more you're going to have the experience of, aha, oh, I see, I get it. Revelation will come your way. And by the way, I personally highly recommend that if you're going to be doing that, one of the things that I like to suggest is when you wake up in the morning, don't just jump out of bed. Try to lay there and have time for it. And because the mind is quiet, you've been sleeping for this long time, and now what you can do is just listen. Just see what thoughts are coming to you, what's being given to you. You know, ask for direction at that particular time and see if it doesn't happen. You will get, the other morning I said, I had a lot of stuff on my plate. So I just said, I said, God help me. And he said, help me. Oh.
Hey, John, I'm coming in just because I'm so
Sure.
appreciating everything you're providing.
Yeah, that's fine.
And you're giving us just a lot of beautiful, wonderful tools. And we should just book a show where we just have you chatting, because there's so many things you brought up that I'd love to comment on and reflect.
Sure, please.
But I'm a big yes to the vision that you're laying out for reality. And yes, we are multidimensional beings, and this earth life is a very short little dream life. It's a cosmic dream, where we're here to learn lessons of love. And clearly, Course in Miracles is a really powerful way to do that.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And I do want to encourage people. John's foundation, the One Mind Foundation, publishes Miracles Magazine. And you can find it at miraclesmagazine.org. There's John all over. Sunday with Monday Live. I love that. A Course in Miracles with John Monday. John, anything you want to, for our audience to know about Miracles Magazine?
Sure. I started Miracles Magazine 40 years ago in 1985. September will be exactly 40 years since I started. And we're still alive. I mean, that's kind of, magazines have kind of disappeared, but the people love them well enough that I keep getting nice reports mostly it's from people who are like, I think probably some of your listeners, who are very inspired and also authors in this same kind of field. We refer to it as the universal courses. For the Course in Miracles itself represents one form of universal course. So they can get it just by going to the website, miraclesmagazine.org, and subscribe. And there's always ongoing classes. Right now I'm teaching a class on Tuesday and Thursday. And that's going to end for 2 weeks. I'm taking a break, and then I'm doing a summer class beginning, I think it's on June 12th. Do that for 7 weeks. And I also have a podcast. Tomorrow morning, I have Hakim Hamza on. I love Hakim. He's from Sweden, and he's just so real. Just a genuine human being. I think that's the thing we're all looking for. And every Sunday morning, I send out it's called epistle. It's called Sunday with Monday, just making a play on words. And that's going very well. I've got a book out called Sunday with Monday as well.
And we can find all that by going
on the website. Yeah.
So that's where it all is. And
yeah.
John, thank you very much.
Sure.
I hope you might be able to stay for a little bit, because we've got some other extraordinary presenters.
I'm happy to stop.
Yeah. Well, thank you, because we could do an entire show just with you.
Another time.
Wisdom you shared. If you get a chance, there are some questions that people had for you
in
the chat box, which we didn't have time to get to.
Okay.
So maybe you could take a look at some of those questions and respond to. Dr. Laura had a great question. So, and thank you again, Dr. John.
Sure.
Just what a wise soul. We got to bring him back. Got to bring him back. And speaking of bringing back, we have just brought back, or are bringing back, Vox, also known as Phyllis Douglas. And she's living it. She's in the state of consciousness that a lot of us are trying to get to. And for any of you that don't know Vox, she's of course been on the show many times before, but she is the voice of the angel of God. She's an Elohim of the eternal realms, of seraphim lineage, a source-born architect and creator God beyond the 12th dimension. God, and I thought I was just like, I just feel like I'm Capricorn Sun, Taurus Moon. It's not amazing. And you're going to feel it in a moment as you hear her speak and you hear her channel. You're going to get that she really is all these extraordinary things. She is a holder of the original divine blueprint. And so she carries the codes of sacred order, sound geometry, and multiversal design. From beyond form and time, she emanates as a founding intelligence, creating, encoding, and architecting the oversoul structures of galaxies, universes, and the living matrix of creation itself. So I really encourage you, especially when she goes into the transmission, to just stop everything else you're doing, close your eyes, and take it in, because it's very, very powerful. And she's also a really cool human being, by the way. So welcome back to the Awakening World, Vox.
Oh, thank you, Scott. They made me do it. I'm just little old me.
Well, you're pretty wonderful. So what does the little old me do when the challenges of life come your way?
You know, I was talking to friends about this the other day, and Elohim chimed in as well. And you know, you struggle with that because you're looking at what's happening in the world. And then it's often I'm like, well, I can't really do anything about that. You know, and so what Elohim had told me at that time was that, well, if there is something that your medicine, your magic can be of greater benefit to, then we will let you know what that is. And so the key thing for me is about really in those times, and really at all times, is about learning to express my creativity. And it's really about like stimulating your intuition, your imagination, and to kind of reawaken that childlike curiosity that many of us haven't seen, you know, for a while. And that childlike curiosity, when we can really tap into that and bring it forward, there are no limitations, there are no boundaries. And so when we can become creative, I feel that it really connects us to our I am presence, our higher self, and also begins to align us with the gifts that we brought into this world. What I call our personal medicine and magic. And so those gifts that we brought into this incarnation with us, what Elohim was telling me a while ago, because I do a number of things, but it took me a long time to actually do them for myself. And I speak to a lot of people that experience this. And I'm like, oh, you know, like that didn't really pop into my head, you know. So I started to do what I do for other people for myself, and it was truly magical. And so what I understood from that is we are given these gifts first and foremost for self. It's first for us to kind of go through our self-realization, awakening, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. But then once we experience that, then we can begin to share it with the rest of the world. And those are the gifts that we can bring out into the world to begin to create change. But that change begins with us.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not about looking outside and just like all the time, you know, but it's really about going deeper inside, because that we are all interconnected. We are all one in that energetically and so forth. So if we can begin to change ourselves and begin to emanate that true will out into the world and to utilize our gifts, then we begin to create change within others. First that surround us and then beyond.
Beautiful. Thank you.
But and I'm going to say there was a phrase. I have to say this because I thought it was so profound when they said it. I had a session with a client, and we were kind of talking about this, and she was talking about she was doing a retreat, and I said, "Well, okay, what are you doing in the retreat?" One of the things was she was teaching women that they were going to go back and they were going to heal their wounds so that they could be whole and complete and so forth and step out into the world. Elohim said, "You are not wounded. You, dear ones, are experienced."
Mm.
And I just thought that was the most, I mean, we were speechless for a moment. I thought that was just the most profound statement. It knocked me for a loop. It really did, because I just hadn't really thought of it in that way. So I just wanted to share that statement with everyone. It's really something to think about. Oh, can you repeat that? Yes. They said, "You are not wounded, dear ones. You are just experienced."
Mm. I totally agree with that. You know, I make my living as a relationship coach, as a love coach. And when people ask me what's the difference between love coaching and traditional therapy, in traditional therapy, people have spent many years learning how to diagnose and evaluate what's wrong with people. And I understand there's purpose in that. But I truly believe there's nothing wrong with anyone. But we do have very significant challenges that are part of the blueprint of our life, what we're learning to do. We're learning to love ourselves, even though I'm autistic. I'm learning to love myself, even though I have to manage my anger or whatever it may be. By the way, speaking of anger management, I agree with what you said there, Dr. Laura. Anger is not bad. It needs to be managed, but it's part of the human experience. So anyway, a big yes to what you just said, Vox. Would you be willing to do a transmission for us?
Yes, most definitely.
And I think I will. I'm going to keep the spotlight just on you. A reminder, because of course Desiree is wonderful. Most people are saying how much they love what she contributes. I know a couple people have mentioned that it can be distracting. One thing also, people, you can always, as Zoom room members, you can pin multiple people. That's not what the audience will see. I've got the power of what the audience sees, but you can pin Desiree and Vox, for example, if you want to see both. So that's a wonderful way to start utilizing the blessings of Desiree. And Vox, thank you so much for being with us. And I'll remind everybody, close your eyes, drop in, and enjoy this experience.
Just sit back and relax and breathe. scendere spiritur, ondo cere kinde nemme lorendo sondro cire, mingoron donderie siriere nonde chondarie, andore turumber, Mariana, yamare kirie chandare cindere surondor, andere kurum, andere siriantare tur, andere kur, samondre siriere turam pongo cieron, andere on, ngorore mundore. Che becera che io tundur spera pa caccia un butuire pe. Ciacere che ci tundur pe ora. No, tere vado fare. No. Mi chiede che c'è kudesha andacere che ci tundur spira ya con tundur per. Ore. Here come the ancient ones. Ingerin tondo sunguri peceri inderi motunderi andare kere mata jandere tundere kere ambare cere jantando condecere ambogore hira ambagande verkine tiri tururu kere ambare kere antiri hunduru trere ambare kere tore cinde tirare andare dando guru tore rendere andare cuore singere tura bayahanda amma hende girerendore kundre si capisce da chiari tutu sapaire kutukunde sakatu pikatundre pikatundre kutin kiri spaccia sakatundre spiega patutu tuku pacciachetere kututu
Edu
Elevation to the spiritual DNA. Kultura. Sebe edu kunders bi or kishundere. Tatjaka or kuchun. Shukura ba a. Shuku ebera. Chi era tor. Irkachuku yer spirina macera suku tunders by Yeragaya Batutira. Sipikiri minimamaka uro kuchundu jiberikiri batakutun. Siperekaira tatata kunders via atukuri bishudun. Sipirimeka utu kuria sandi echikundu chukukuria. Peripaki cendere che chukundres piria era kuushukuira batakunduru. Shantata kacere che pira kutu shunguchi. Pichacene che rivire kutu tiramera kutu shukutire pira tukura. Releasing all influences from the past that are not of a positive nature. Che pira kasuira bakacene bicciare che ruci sembatu honkicire. Sepatur. Shukura kapira kashutum. Bring all in alignment. Get perika tutu with future. Bikira bishutu chiri bikira bisutu unlimited potentiality. Ikara kasukuchi pashander iribera katutunduru kushukutunda. Ha! Chipa itukuche perire sapatu tingere sepereke atukutuye sipiara katukunduru kusho. Ashura pachinja. Fuko era chundra spiritu. Erikis butu kunje bayri sama papa kachutundra spiritu tuku. Na hair ba kusho poyeta tanda nadi erikis tuku. Mbe kai tusa kai jaba tuku ora. Hashaka ema endu tutundu de beke uro kuskun. Jebae kakatundu tundu kuku jere de jira. Hamba kachere tun. May we speak? Yes. Tukukundo Bisha. We have watched humanity for millennia. Of course, you were not in the form that you presently are. This form that you have chosen to incarnate in. But we have watched the world called Earth evolve. We have been assisting the process from afar. To Kora. You do not know the true immensity and power that you hold within your infinite cells. You are eternal. You are not this body. This body is a vehicle of godlike expression, where the God force works as and through this physical body. When you make the decision that you are not going to live by personal egoic will, then you can exist from God's will, and God's will is truly your own, to bring heaven to earth. This one was not expecting us to come through in this way to share this message. You have the power within your own expression and acknowledgement of truth that you are the infinite God force within physical form. You have the power, which is your birthright, to live from a simple perspective and the truth of love. All is love. That is the true and creative essence which exists within you, and which you are, and which each and every one of you are, and all of creation that is in existence. We realize we are running out of time. We want you to begin to honor the truth of who it is that you are within this beautiful vehicle of flesh and bone that is allowing you to experience a physical life. To bring the awakening consciousness of the I Am presence, the higher essence, the higher self, down to the earth plane. When one rises in truth and love, all have the potential to rise. When one honors the truth of who it is that they are, and they emanate that truth, and they allow it to shine, to radiate out into the world, they begin to create change that extends out into the world. Those closest to you begin to change. Those closest to those individuals began to change, and so on, and so on, and so on, out into the world, so that that higher level vibration then begins to create the changes amongst the lower vibrations that are attempting to hold their own in place, but they cannot. The rigging, as we would utilize, is coming loose. It is being shaken loose. And soon all will fall to rise again. Through the power of love, through the acceptance and acknowledgement that you are powerful, infinite beings. Of the presence of God. With this, we bid you adieu in peace. Te pierdes tu curtir fazer a caputo tundre, seria batur. We are complete. Okay, that was totally unexpected.
Yeah, I think this is the sixth or seventh time I've experienced you, and definitely that was a whole other something that I hadn't experienced with you before. Um,
Me too. No, no.
yeah, I mean, I'm wondering, like, what? Yeah, how? What has that happened before, where that voice has come through?
Yes, it in short, I had always known consciously, but kept pushing away it from when I was a little girl, that I'm actually seraphim,
Mhm.
and like the whole story that goes behind that. And it was only literally a few months ago that I'm like, oh, fine, whatever, I surrender. Stop doing. Because what they were saying was, if you do not truly acknowledge who you are, you cannot be that. And that I couldn't bring the depth of the work forward and the connections that I needed to without fully surrendering and acknowledging that, which is why my bio changed, and that's just the truth of who I am. So when I surrendered to that, everything began to evolve and fully, kind of scary, exciting but scary to me. Everything just started expanding and opened up into this much larger field of consciousness, like everything, really. And so it's even more that I'm not here, but I'm here. So it's kind of living between two worlds. So I've been kind of trying to balance that. So mostly I'm kind of staying on that side, but I'm here so that because there's certain things as far as my mission is concerned that I have to bring in, because I'm here to assist humanity in essentially the human ascendancy, and also working with the planet. And I had done a whole channeling with Gaia, which is on my YouTube channel now, I believe. If it's not, I should put it there. I'll get it there if it's not there. But that she was saying, I can go with or without you, but I love you. And so it was like this. It's like kind of a whole thing. So that's kind of where I'm at now.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that was a lot of energy. Whoa, yeah.
so I'm gonna give you a chance to breathe, and then we're gonna go to your website. But there are literally about 15 comments from our audience, and I want to acknowledge our audience as they acknowledge you. So, Phyllis, I invite you to take in how you've touched our audience. Reverend DR writes, such a powerful activation. Dr. Laura writes, wow, this is extraordinary. Phyllis, your voice, your light language is like an entire choir of powerful Elohim. Absolutely heavenly. Kathy writes, I felt that transmission through my entire being, especially within my heart. I also felt energy moving in my head, and I released tears. So beautiful and powerful. Our new friend and brother, Liam Wilkinson from England, writes, wow, humbled and privileged to be present for your transmission, Vox Angelus. George Noble writes, change, more goddess channeling begets more God expression. Carol Craig, I'll get to Carol in a moment. Scotty writes, what a gift. Wow. Between Phyllis and Desiree, I am in bliss. So beautiful. George Noble writes, I hear that choir singing much of the time within me. And Carol Craig writes, wow, with a lot of emojis. Susan Bloom says, thank you. Kathy says, that was one of the longest and strongest transmissions I've heard from Vox also. Katie writes, oh my God, amazing, thank you. Karen S. writes, otherworldly. Roger and Bonnie write, holy power. Reverend Diarra, to be fully seen. And Shoshana says that she just wrote a poem called Where Seraphim Sing. Well, Where Seraphim Sing is on the Awakening World, May 24th, 2025. Charlotte writes, such a powerful message, delivered so exquisitely. Thank you, Vox. Carol Craig writes, simply magnificent. Desiree wrote, as you started, I felt a gift being given from the divine. Later, I felt the breaking open of the heart chakra. Huge healing, major upgrades. Thank you so much. And then a question from Dr. Laura. Vox, do you channel Elohim or Seraphim? And what the heck is the difference?
Well, I know Elohim, I'm of Elohim, and Elohim is actually a collective, and which is, I tell people to think of it as an umbrella. So at the umbrella is God the creator. God created everything underneath, that's protected underneath the umbrella. And so Elohim is actually a collective. So you have what is called God the creator, you have, which is like what you might call, biblically, whatever, it's like the throne. I'm within like a throne angel, but I'm also what's called a creator God. And so underneath that, actually, a lot of people believe that the archangels are actually throne angels, but they're not. They're actually at the bottom end, the lower end, closer to humanity, because they're the ones that are messengers and protectors and so forth, and they're the ones that help humanity. So they're actually at the bottom of the tier. So all of that is considered Elohim. So if you think about God created messengers and the architects. I'm known as an architect. I use sound and so forth and energy. But their hands has created hands or whatever to do what it is that needs to be done. And that's kind of the easiest way that I can explain it. Now, if you're looking in other religions, often they use the word Elohim in place of God. But if you go back to the old, before things were like translated so many times, you'll see that Elohim is actually plural.
Wow.
But they kind of got rid of that somewhere along the line and made it just one God. But it's always been, from the old text, Elohim has always been a plural, as in gods, plural.
Okay.
So that's the best I can kind of explain that, yeah.
I'm wondering if maybe you can share with Ayada any advice. She says, I'm wondering what happened there. I'm feeling exhausted after listening to Vox. Her voice felt a bit overwhelming. First time I've had that experience. I always loved Vox's voice expressions, but wow, I feel like I need to go to bed now, perhaps some deep healing.
I moved you. Yeah, it's just moving. It's just energy moving. So, take care of yourself and just allow it to move and breathe and maybe do some movement to kind of allow things to flow through. But you've been shifted. And so in that shift, it was a big shift. It was actually a big shift for me. Even like bringing it through, I could feel it. They wanted to come in and share that with this community. So it was kind of a higher level thing. So you may definitely experience different things happening. I'm not going to say not repercussions. That's not what I mean. I can't think of the word right now. But you're going to have different shifts, energetic shifts and things that are happening. So that really isn't an unusual thing. So I would just drink lots of water and maybe do some breath work. Maybe take a nice bath, Epsom salt bath, and then get some rest. And just allow whatever process is underway to come to completion. Yeah.
And I think that's probably true for a lot of us. I know I felt it. Okay, well, what an amazing evening between Dr. John, and isn't it interesting that what Dr. John shared and what Vox shared are variations of the same message. It's really quite powerful. All right, we can find more of the voice of the angel at her website, and it's her earth name, her human name, phyllisdouglas.com. Notice that there are 2 L's in Phyllis and 2 S's at the end of Douglas, phyllisdouglas.com. And what would you like to make sure we know on your website? Is there anything you want to make sure our audience is especially aware of?
I have a number of events and so forth coming up. So if on my website, you just go under services. Yeah, everything's under services. If you click book a service and you scroll through, that's where all of my sessions and all of my events are presently going to be. And they'll also be reflected on the events page, but they're not right now because I'm looking for a new event things. So everything's here that
All
I
right.
offer.
Well, she has, and imagine getting personal light scroll retrieval and transmission work with her, soul frequency reading. She provides, I mean, the highest of the highest work. I strongly encourage people to work with Vox. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Scott, and thank you, everyone.
Wow. Let's just all take a breath for a minute, huh? I know I'm feeling pretty whacked from that amazing experience. Wow. Okay. Well, we're going to go from the magic of the Seraphim coming directly through Vox to one of our old friends going way back to the Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe days. When we used to have magicians, and Paul Draper was one of the most popular magicians by far, and people have been requesting him. When are we going to have Paul Draper back?
Yeah.
He's been a busy guy, Paul, and I see Katie's applauding and people are excited. Paul, tell us, what have you been up to for the last, I think it's been about a year.
About a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here I am right now. This is my backdrop is at Cambridge University in the UK. There's me at Cambridge University. I was lecturing for the postdocs and the researchers at Cambridge. I've also lectured at Yale. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was at the Anthropology of Consciousness conference. I was their keynote speaker in my past life. I was an anthropologist. I joke past life. I mean, 20 years ago. And before I took on a journey as a full-time magician. I was just on, I'm going to put it in the chat here if you want to look later, on Inside the NBA with Shaq and Charles Barkley and those guys. 10 million people watched live, and you can see there, fun stuff there. But now I'm currently just a block away from the Magic Castle in Hollywood, and I have 4 shows tonight right up the hill.
Wow.
So,
that is, I love the Magic Castle. I absolutely love it. It's such a cool place. And I love knowing that you're going to be there. And did you put the link in where we can watch? Oh, it is. Okay. All right. I'm a big fan of Shaq, so I'll definitely enjoy watching.
I got to tell you, as a guy who's wealthy man, before the camera started running, he bussed in kids from all the local schools below the poverty line, and he put up a 3-point shot hoop. And any kid that tried to make a hoop, he gave him $20. Any kid that made it, he gave him $100. And that wasn't filmed. That was just him doing good before we shot the episode.
I've heard great things about Shaq, that he is a great guy. I also love how, in your backdrop, how your head fits in and out of the arch.
Right. Yeah, when you look at Oxford and Cambridge, they're named after old technologies. Oxford University is named after where you would have the oxes ford the river, and Cambridge is where the bridge was to Cambridge. So here I want to show you something. These are some unusual things you rarely see. These are blanks. These are blanks of what gets later printed to be playing cards right there. And so they'll take those and they'll put them through, and you can turn those into, whatever your card is. You can imagine that's the Queen of Hearts, the 2 of Spades, the 5 of Diamonds. You imagine a deck of cards suddenly appears. Now that's just a back right there. That's what covers all the backs. But if you concentrate all the way through, then suddenly there's a face. And if you have one face, let's see if I can do this at this angle with this. I may have to take away my fake background. And you can see I'm just in a hotel room here with a brick background. So let's do it again. Boom! Just a brick background. And suddenly all of the cards are there.
No way. How did you do that?
Every face suddenly starts to appear. But these are imagined, like we've been talking about earlier, that these are all these cards end up being places of gambling or money or problems or trouble. And so I don't want to have all those cards. I want to have a blank slate where I can start over and imagine in new ways. Thanks for letting me share that with you.
Yeah. Go to gallery view for a moment. Hang on. Let's
Sure.
all give a big twinkle.
Yay! This is sign language applause. Sign language applause. Magic applause. Ring
Wow.
applause. The one of the things I'll be doing up at the Magic Castle is spoon bending. That's something a lot of people ask me to do. You'd see that's quite a thick piece of metal right there. That's not just some little, oh, I'll do it again. We'll get rid of this background. I'm so sorry that it's I'm in a bad background there, in my
It's okay.
real background, but it's what's real. So here, I'm going to concentrate on making it bow up towards my hand, just like that. And it just starts to go, just starts to go, just a
Whoa.
little. We'll take it a little bit further, a little bit further. Come on, you. Come on, just keeps going. Going. Good. Stop, stop. That's 90 degrees. What's funny is a lot of people think that I take and put enormous pressure on it, right? So this time I won't even touch it, just right into the camera. And it just,
No way. No way.
just a little bit there, right? The it's if you were here, I'd let you hold it and try, but and pull in person. You can see Shaq doing this. In his hands, this looks like a tiny little teaspoon. You'd see that it's thinner and thinner. With enough strength, of course, it's metal, it's just a spoon. With enough strength, you can take and straighten it out, but only in the movies can you get to do this, where the metal on its own just twists and turns like a corkscrew.
Wow.
Did that recently for UFC fighting champion Ronda Rousey. And she said, it makes me so mad I want to throw you. And I said, after your last pro fight, that ain't happening. And then she threw me. And it's on Hallmark Channel. You can see that. It's fun to get to share this magic, and both from the magic. I'll go into a different. Next week, I'm performing at a different place. That's fun. We'll see if we can guess the background on this one. After my week at the castle, I'm going to go up and perform at Disneyland.
Oh, wow.
I'm one of the official magicians for Disney. So when they celebrate their own employees at their service celebrations, or when big companies buy out the park for the evening, I'm part of that experience.
Well,
And
where do you do it? Like what part of the park do they put you in?
so they can put me in downtown Disney, in Club 33, in right past Pixar Pier over here in the Plaza de la Familia, in the Golden Horseshoe, in what used to be the Starcade, which is now an event center. So they sort of have different spots that they put me in.
Wow. I just saw where they took out Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln and
Right,
replaced it with Walt Disney.
right, which Walt didn't want to have happen.
Oh, I'm sure there's more than one thing Walt didn't have in mind, but I think it'd be very cool to watch Walt.
Oh yeah, and it's based on his office from the television show that really launched Disney. But yeah, originally in his lifetime, he said he didn't want an animatronic made of him. But yes, they did make this animatronic, and it's his voice and it's his office and some of his items. So there's some sympathetic magic and some contagious magic if we go to the Golden Bough, all mixed into this performance piece. So I am excited to see it.
Wow. People are, by the way, really, really excited. There's a lot of comments coming in. I'll let
Oh,
you.
that's so nice. Here, I'll have you help me, Scott. I have some cards here. I have some cards here from that same blue deck. I grabbed some sixes. Just
Well, I'll pick this one up.
if you would just name a number 1, 2, 3, or 4 for me.
4.
4. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to start with that 6 of hearts. And I will do one more time. Sorry to keep changing my background on you. We'll take that one and put it right here. So I can't switch it. Keep it on camera. Stay right there. So I'm so glad you chose that 6 of hearts. Why? Because this card will do the backs of the cards are all red. That one's red, and that one's red, and that one's red, and this one, the one you chose, is the only one that's blue. So you got the odd man out. The difficult thing is that you chosen this one instead, the red one right there. You would have found that the opposite was true. That let's see if I can do it. This one's blue and that one's blue. Or if you would have chosen this one, you would have found that that one's green and that one's yellow. So no matter what, it would have been the odd man out. So
Paul, you're so much fun.
this is where I perform in Vegas at the
Oh, wow.
Orleans Casino there. That's my showroom that I'm on.
Which casino is that? Oh, the Orleans.
New Orleans, yeah.
Yeah.
So I rotate through with the other, celebrities that come through, play this venue.
Paul, I'm so happy for you. And one of the things about Paul is during COVID, when everybody was stuck at home, he was doing every day you did at least one
for free
show for kids, for senior citizen homes, for places that really needed to be brightened up.
I did over 2,500 shows during COVID before I stopped counting. But part of that was every day, Title I schools or retirement homes or women's shelters for free every single day for those first couple of years of COVID. And of course, lots of corporate shows and other things as well. And I still offer those. If there are people in need, I still do shows for free. And the rest of the time I do corporate workshops and parties. So have me come to your company Christmas party.
Paul, you are such a gem. What a godsend you are. And everybody, if you want to book Paul, his website is easy to remember. It's his name, pauldraper.com. He even puts his phone number right up there. Subscribe to his monthly newsletter. That's an important thing to do. There we go.
pauldraper.com.
pauldraper.com. You can book him and watch him on Inside the NBA. I'm going to do that tonight after the show's over. I'm watching that. And transform your event, birthday parties, and all sorts of fun stuff. I've got a new home, Paul. I'm going to start doing events here in little mini festivals. I'll need to bring you out to Grass Valley.
Oh, I'd love that. That'd be so wonderful. And the key for me for dealing with difficult times is to realize that our brains and bodies evolved or were created just to deal with about 3,000 to 5,000 people. That's it. That's the Robin Dunbar number. He's a biological anthropologist, studies what we can cope with. And right now we're being bombarded with the news of 8 billion people, and we can't handle it. What we need to do is spend our time helping in little ways in our own lives, in the lives of the people near us, to help people individually, one-on-one, every day. Find a way to give ourselves away a little bit after we make sure we nourish ourselves and drink enough water and get enough sleep. We have to take care of the self, and then the next rung, then the next rung, then the next rung within our world, and realize there's certain things that we can impact and certain things we need to release at this moment in our life. And that's what I do when I get so overwhelmed, which is easy to do.
Wow, that's beautiful advice. Where can we learn a little bit more about the what you just spoke of? 3,000 to 5,000 people is what we're.
So the anthropologist was named Robin Dunbar, and he was a biological anthropologist. Called the Dunbar number. Studied how many people are in our personal mind of self versus our family unit versus our tribal unit versus our community versus everyone on earth we can cope with. So human beings as we know them, something we could mate with, has been around for about 1.2 million years. Something exactly like us, unquestionably us, has been around at least 200,000 years. Only in the last few hundred years have we had to cope with this global world, and the biology of our body has not been able to catch up with the movement of technology in those ways. And so that's a big reason why so many of us feel overwhelmed right now.
Oh, thank you. Scotty Satori put in the chat box what I think we're all feeling. He writes, "I love you, Paul."
Oh,
yes, that is a beautiful message. And definitely take a look at all the wonderful messages that people are sending in.
So kind of you all. And I'm excited to keep learning from all of you tonight.
Yeah. What did you think of Vox? How was that for you?
Isn't that wild? Isn't that wonderful? I really like seeing different people find their journey of spirituality and find their connection through that. I think we're all driving towards the same center and finding different pathways through. When I study religion, when I study different religious groups, I talk about the smells and bells religion, which is they want to have the big beautiful building and the ornamentation and all of that, versus charismatic religion, where we want to feel it deeply. And both of them are driving towards the same goal, but we find that spirituality in a different way. And Vox's journey is very much an emotional, connected, authentic journey to that center, and it was really delightful to see that experience.
Well, thank you very much. We love your journey, and yeah, it's tonight's kind of a fun show because we're really seeing very different pathways to that same end result that you're talking about, whether it's Dr. John and Course in Miracles.
Right. He has a course with a path that takes you through with a very language based, and see the language and have the exercises to take you on that journey with these texts right there. That's the key, is find the person, the spiritual core that takes you on the journey, that makes you feel what you need to feel in order to get to that place.
Beautifully stated. Well, we're all about to feel something powerful because it's almost shower time. It's our mid-show song, and we have a lot to integrate. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Here is Omar Shar, and let me get Desiree. Here she is.
What if we could find a way to wipe away all tears and fears, all broken hearts, to clear the way for a brand new start? Now that we see and know the way to lift our day and shine the light for all to see, the way back home and the way to be free. Let our love lead the way. Let the light shine
Let's go to gallery view. Thank you so much, Omar Shar.
My pleasure. Thank you, Desiree.
Soraya. And I'm going to leave you both on for a moment. What tips, tools, practices would each of you like to share with our audience?
Yeah, so I'd actually like to start. I know during Bosses, the energy got really heavy, or heavy isn't the right word. It was just a lot. So there's things that I teach my clients on a regular, which is different ways to ground. So I would like to teach you guys a couple of those now. One, we take our hands and we do a peace sign. We close that, and then we place them down to our sides. Now take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Now, what that does, it's actually directing the energy directly down your arm like a bolt of lightning, and it's grounding that energy. So as we move that energy, we were breaking up all those dense, dark energy, all that stuff. We were getting it to move. We're now going to ground it. Nice. The other thing we can do is if you place your hands flat to the ground, right? Palms down. Again, take a breath into your nose, out to your mouth. What that does is it grounds your energy as well. It's almost like sticking your hands in the ground, and that's going to help that grounding as well. And then just as a reminder, if you want to move energy, you can actually hold your left hand up, do a counterclockwise swirl to kind of reverse or transmute energy, and a clockwise swirl to add positive energy. So if you're a little unbalanced, you can actually balance it out by moving your hands. And then the last thing I want to teach you is how to balance your energy just by this. You hold your hands up. Take a nice big breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. And we're going to ask our guides, maybe please show us the imbalance in my energy. And then your hands may move. If you feel energy, if you move energy, your hands are going to move and allow that to happen. One's going to get heavy, one's going to get light, something like that. Once we know what the imbalance is, then we're going to take a nice big breath in through our nose, out through our mouth, and say, may we please balance our energy. You're going to watch your hands move to a more balanced state. Yep, and then they just said yes. So that's just a couple ways that you can ground your energy, balance your energy, just when you're out in the everyday world. I find that as we're energy workers, as we sense things around us, so on and so forth, we can take on a lot, but we forget to do those things throughout the day of just completely grounding throughout the day so that we can stay balanced and focused.
Wow, beautiful. And if anybody wants to put in the chat box what they've noticed right now about their balancing, that'd be interesting to see. So pop that in the chat box. And while people are doing that, this is how you can get more of Desiree, the shamanic shapeshifter. It's, again, her name. She spells it, it's kind of like desire with an A at the end. So if you want to desire Hitman.com, that's one way of remembering it, or DesireeHitman.com. And who do you most like to work with? Is there a demographic group that's kind of your main group that you like to work with, or your main kind of person?
People are looking to open their abilities. So I teach a variety of classes that open up people's different abilities, whether it's ability to see energy, hear energy, speak energy, or even feel it. And then as well as we clear those channels, we just raise their vibration.
Well, I know you recently worked with the wild monk of the Mystic Monastery, Jerry Anderson, and Jerry happens to be here tonight. Jerry, do you anything you want to share with our audience about your experience working with her?
Yes, she works with the Ascended Masters and many high beings in her work. She channels through like energetically, like you see, and at the same time, with words, communicating what we use to talk in this dimension with. But it was interesting. Many times she would come to a place where she just cried.
Wow. Wow. And what would you say one of the benefits you got out of the experience was, Jerry?
Well, I got a lot of confirmation that the work that I do that's not personal, but is, as she said, for the greater whole, was very much confirmed coming through her. What seems to be my work in the last while of balancing the male and female internally and learning to see how that is on the external world.
Well, you are doing very beautiful work, Jerry, and we're grateful for it. And I'm glad you got support from Desiree. Thank you. Thank you both so much. Thank you. And thank you, Desiree, for all that you're bringing to the awakening world. And here's your other member of the dynamic duo, Omashar, with the beautiful backdrop. Omashar, what do you want to share with the audience tonight?
Well, what Paul was saying about there being 8 billion people and 8 billion thought forms all infiltrating the group consciousness. And I used to live in Hawaii, and I used to be on one of the smallest islands and on 7 acres of land and just thousands of miles of Pacific Ocean around me and virtually no influence whatsoever into my field. And when I moved to here in Colorado about 3.5 years ago, I have noticed that every single day, every single morning that I wake up, there is a gazillion, not only the EMFs from the 1,000 cell phone towers there are in this area, but also the group consciousness. And it would often take me until 3 or 4 or 5 in the afternoon to feel myself, until I started to actually get up in the morning and try and drag myself outside into the sun with my bare feet on the ground as the very first thing. And I'd start connecting with the beings of the sun, and I start remembering to myself that I am an individuation of the God source. We're all individuations of the God source. And I start putting these building blocks into my mind. Okay, I'm connected to the sun. God is within me. God is, my higher self is above me. My I am presence is now coming, projecting through me. And I start to feel that my Christ consciousness is coming through. My soul is starting to re-embody. And each time that I build one of these thought forms, I'd find my frequency rising higher and higher. And I'd literally step myself out of the Maya. M-I-E-R-E, higher and higher, and Maya, they rhyme. And so I would find myself rising. I thought, this really works. and then I'd go and maybe water the grass out the back here, and then just sit down for 20 minutes and have a meditation. And I do at least 2 or 3 25-minute meditations per day. And I find that to keep myself deciphered and to keep my own truth speaking out through me, I have to do this practice, because if I ignore it, and I wake up in the morning and have a cup of tea, flick onto my phone and look at all the rubbish in there, and ignore my practices, it only takes 2 or 3 days to be almost completely covered over again, my consciousness, and theoretically back where I was a few decades ago. And so it's a practice, but what it is now, it's not 10 years ago, you could practice it once a month. 5 years ago, you could practice it once a week. Now you have to do it 24 hours a day. And whenever you remember, you got to remember, I am a divine being, individuated here in this world. And everybody I look at, whether they're highness, sinner, or a saint, is a divine being individuated in this world. And I just have to talk to myself. And it's amazing when your own mind and being hears the truth, how it distills everything, and that which is dross simply falls away. And so that's my practice. In the last few days, I've been a little bit lazy because I've been writing a lot of, recording a lot of music. And so I get up in the morning, have a cup of tea and write my music. And I still haven't shucked off my corn outer layer. So I have to press stop, go outside and do all that I have just explained in this dissertation. And then I find myself emerging again. So it's, we are the masters of our own being, and no one else outside of us can be that for us, no matter how much we try. And the last thing I'm going to say is that there comes a time when all of the outside crutches, all of the books, all of the things that we have around us to remind us of our divinity, all that has to be let go of, because we have to realize it within ourselves. and no crutches anymore, because the more we keep on looking out, even into this show here, the more we look out at that to save us, the further we are away from being authentic beings. And I think that's probably enough for now, Scott.
Thank you very much, Omashar. We love you so much. We appreciate the daily practices that you do that keep you in that state of consciousness that then leads to the beautiful music and the beautiful ways that you uplift and inspire us every week.
It is, and for some reason Twin Ray came in right now, and they always have the thing about being at 12 o'clock, and not only 12 o'clock forward and backwards, but sideways, and it's an alignment, and that is where I head for it every day. So thank you.
Thank you. Also, while we've got Omashar, he's going to be going away for a little bit to go visit his mom, who's in decline. Next week he'll be with next Wednesday he'll be with us, and then he'll be gone for 3 weeks. So, Omashar, do you want us to do a prayer for your mom or for your travel?
Travel is always good. I'm always safe on the planet. For my mother, yes. What I've noticed is, she doesn't move at all. She sits in a chair 100% of the time. And she has a mind which is so short-term memory that when I speak with her virtually every day, and we have the same conversation 15 times a day, 15 times in that time, 15 times. So she still asks me, are you still coming over? Are you coming over? Do I believe it? And so the only prayer I hold for her is that is for her to feel some kind of angelic presence, because the time will come soon. And when it does, she's been a lifelong atheist, and I would like her to know that there's more to come. In fact, there's so much more to come. She'd probably be out of here if she knew right now that it was there. And so the prayer is just for my mother, whose name is Kate, and just hold her in the light for when the transition comes, she can let go in joy and easily, something like that. And I don't wish her to be gone, because we love our mothers. And even when we see them decrepit in a chair, hardly being able to move, we still love them. We still don't want them to leave, but I realize that that's an attachment that I have to let go of, because we don't want any more push and pull now. So thank you.
What's her name, Omashar?
Kate, Kete.
Maximum grace for Kate. Maximum grace for Omashar's beloved mum, Kate. Maximum grace. May she have whatever experience needed to remember heaven, to remember the astral plane, to remember her true home that she's going to be returning to.
Thank you.
Well, there's still more. We have an amazing, and by the way, I am really feeling the effects of Vox, so I'm not going to do the Thomas Legrand video, but we still have Diara, and we still have Lenore, and then we'll do a final song, which is wanting to give people a little notice, because I'm noticing that I don't have my normal energy. What are we doing next? We're doing Diara. It's time for Diara, and this Diara is such a beloved member of our Global Peace Tribe. There's all the things that she does. I always know that when I want to show somebody moving and grooving on the music, especially when Eleanor Joy and Ian aren't here, thank goodness, Reverend Jeffrey and Diara are my go-to people. But there's a lot of things about Diara that you may not know. Did you know she is a master teacher, an educational visionary, a musical entrepreneur serving families and kids of all ages? Just today, she was working with, I think, someone in France, a mom and her son, helping them to understand each other. She is a reverend, an intuitive medium, an energy worker, and she really enjoys providing helpful communication with pets and animals. She performs land blessings and building clearings. And she really has a mission to bridge the worlds. And she's found a way to successfully merge the best of traditional and alternative strategies for learning, healing, and creating. She is musical. She's a teacher. She is truly an entrepreneur. And do you want to share with us, before I play it, a little bit about this video that we're going to watch?
Thank you, Scott. And hello, everybody. I'm as well integrating everything from tonight, so full. And this next piece is going to add to that fullness. And it's a weaving of the positive and the negative. It's a blending of the peace and the war, the all of it, all of who we are. Like John was saying, it's also an aspect, like Vox was saying, to be truly seen and heard. So I'm saying a prayer that this piece goes out for healing, that the images that are going to be seen behind the sound are meant for maximum grace and forgiveness. And there's a galactic element to this as well. And this piece was created before I even found out about some other events happening that it fits right into. And if there's time, I'll share more about that. So with this piece, let's use all our healing powers, all our prayers to heal the past, clear the present, and prepare for the peaceful future.
Okay, thank you very much. Here we go.
We accept this video.
Scott, nothing is happening.
Did we lose Scott? That's this.
Oh, I'm here. So what's
It stopped. It was just black and remained black, Scott.
And this happened when it was being played this past weekend at the Conference for Global Transformation. And whether it's resistance on my part or just because it's a blending of things that I never thought I would be part of creating. So I'm not surprised.
So, all right, well, let me try one more time screen sharing. I mean, here it is.
Joy.
So you're not seeing it?
Now we can.
Okay.
Receptors. And we're going to use sound as a healing factor because music is the medicine of the future. Acknowledging our own spirits, acknowledging each other's spirits, our spirit guides, our cosmic connectors, our galactic connectors, and we're calling in all that energy for this activation. Shivo Misa Nicodemo Shiva Niso Milati Nila Meito Inamaso Sheila Piva Mani Trito. Lisha no ma Shito ni masu inamila ito allowing that sound to permeate. allowing that sound to activate. And allowing the silence to bathe you as well. And so it is. It's Amazing Grace. Shitanami isu veina meshikote no shila miso vala.
Hmm. May this film provide divine healing and proactive prayers for protection around our beautiful global world and beyond. Deborah Robin Metch, also known as Tiara. Thank you. Thank you. That was beautiful. Let's go to gallery view and give her a big Global Peace Tribe twinkle. Oh, thank you so much. That was beautiful, Tiara. And I'm going to go to your website. And what would you like people to know about your offerings?
Well, I was thinking if we looked at the health and wellness drop-down menu, it's got a sampling of some of the things that I do. Integrated health and wellness, working on that in the schools, restorative practices, do a lot of interfaith work. And this film also, I'm hoping we use it during the Nuclear Prayer Day on August 6th with Ben Bowler and Monica Willard. And with the interfaith, we also have a week coming up in August for that as well.
Yeah, which we're going to do here on the Awakening World. So, and again, I'm putting the link into the chat box where you can learn more about her wonderful offerings. Do check it out, and please let's support all of the people that we're seeing tonight, because they all are doing wonderful work in the world. Tiara, thank you so much. You know that I love you. All right. Well, we are now going to go to another wonderful guest, and a chance to get to know her a little bit more deeply. Hello, Lenore. Let me get to unmute, please.
Hello.
Hello. Your internet's a little shaky, but hopefully we'll be able to hear you. Your lighting is great. You look all bright and angelic. How's your evening been so far?
Oh, wonderful. I got to go in my yard and do a little pruning and watering and tending to flowers and preparing and thinking, meditating about today, what would be the most helpful and impactful for people viewing. So what we've been talking about is showing my video, because that's what I created for myself. And it's interesting because I was working with the Course in Miracles for over 10 years, teaching it and beginning from before it was even published.
Wow.
I was in a meditation group in Manhattan where the teacher, Bruce Gregory, was asked by Judith Scotch to try out this program with his meditation group. And it was quite a drive for me to go there from where I lived outside of the city. And I hadn't been for several months, but I happened to go on that one day when he introduced it with mimeographed sheets.
Wow.
Of the workbook, the first week of the workbook. So I started right then. And usually there are only maybe a dozen people at this group, but that day the whole room was full, about 40 people, because a whole group from the UN had come over from all different countries. So
wow.
We all started together.
Wow.
So I ended up studying it, going through the workbook many times. When I saw it, I thought, I can do this. I want to do this. And then I began teaching it along with other programs I developed in Boulder, Colorado, at the Colorado Institute of Transpersonal Psychology. That was later incorporated after I left and moved to Phoenix, was incorporated into the Naropa Institute in Boulder.
Wow. Well, you have a long and wonderful history. Tell us about the video that we're about to watch.
Okay, well, the video was actually a project for myself when I moved to Phoenix. I really wanted to embody what I understood in the Course in Miracles and from my other spiritual seeking, my soul searching. And I decided to incorporate the things that were most helpful and meaningful to me from the Course in Miracles and other. I was also doing TM from even many years before I started A Course in Miracles. So I wanted to more fully embody that unconditional love and the forgiveness, where you don't even need to forgive because, there's nothing to forgive, as we learned. And also to incorporate my feeling body, to be able to take a deep breath as part of that and feel it all through my whole body. So I had the idea to use music. That was one thing I noticed, how music can shift my feelings immediately. And I developed the process going through the colors of the spectrum, at first as a memory aid almost, as well as invoking the qualities within each energy center of the body, and raising each one to higher frequency, a lighter expression. And as you'll see, because I believe we're going to be showing this video now, there are many magical moments, some have said, or you might even call them miracle moments, where you can shift from anger or frustration or even fear into love in less than 2 minutes, with the help of the music and the imagery and the breathing, embodying it, and our intentions, which can change every time you go through the process. You can keep refining what your priorities are to be transformed in this cauldron of transformation. So I've used this even for myself to shift anger. One time I was literally seeing red, to shift into love, and that's red into pink in less than 2 minutes. And
Wow.
also other important spiritual teachers and writers and people who even have very little background in all of this are able to incorporate it and use it very quickly and easily.
Beautiful. Well, let's take a look. Here's the video, and then we're going to learn more about your website. Here we go with the attunement video.
Attunement for inner harmony and peace. Before we begin our journey through the color spectrum, begin by taking a few deep breaths, allowing first your physical body to relax, releasing tension as you exhale. With another deep breath, feel a sense of peace descending, as your emotions become tranquil like a pool of water. With another deep breath, allow the mind to become open and crystal clear. And as you exhale, release any concerns of the day. And then continue to breathe deeply and comfortably as body, emotions, and mind become aligned and more relaxed. Feel yourself becoming centered as you prepare for our experience together. And now, as you breathe, begin to think of a white light in the center of your heart, a divine spark that ignites a flame which grows brighter, shining up into your head and filling now your body with a dazzling white light. As you breathe in, the light becomes brighter, and as you breathe out, it begins to extend beyond the body, shining out into the room and filling the space around you with this beautiful white light. As you continue to breathe in and out, this light grows brighter throughout the room and begins to shine beyond the walls, out into the world. We now offer the intention to benefit from this experience in whatever ways are most helpful at this time. We begin by exploring each color to help you attune to the qualities offered by each vibratory energy while clearing or releasing patterns of resistance that may arise at each level. First, we attune to the color red, the vibrations and qualities available with this color. The color red can help us feel more comfortable in the physical body, to be fully present and more effective as we resonate with the planet Earth. We allow ourselves to be strengthened by this vibration, grounded in the body and ready for action. The color red can help to intensify any existing conditions that are ready now for release. So we allow to come to the surface any tensions, any resistance that may have prevented energies from circulating freely throughout the physical body. We may become aware of emotions such as anger or frustration that can result from holding back our energies rather than expressing them through word or deed. This color can give us the courage to use the body for its higher purpose, to express love. By adding more source light or white light to this wavelength, we lighten the color red to a shade of rose or pink to help us soften and transform any repressed energies, allowing them to flow more easily. We might feel this vibration now around the heart center, and we allow the heartbeat to aid us in feeling and expressing love through the physical body. Next, we attune to the color orange and the vibrations available from this color. We may feel the energizing effect of orange in the abdominal area or pelvic region. The color orange can help to cleanse, revitalize, and heal this area of the body. To encourage physical health, we might think of all the internal organs being bathed in this revitalizing orange energy. We think of each organ as being perfect and glowing, functioning perfectly and harmoniously with every organ and system in the body. The color orange can help us balance and integrate mind and body, and also the male and female qualities which are available in all of us. We might think of the right and left sides of the body as representing the male and female aspects, blending now together and balanced. We may think of two figures touching or embracing, perhaps dancing in a circular motion, as we feel the male and female qualities blending harmoniously now within us. We think of our balanced energies flowing, streaming, not only through the pelvic area, but also throughout the entire body, as we feel revitalized by the color orange. We may feel the energies rising into the solar plexus area below the heart. And now we attune to the color yellow. There is a tremendous source of strength, an infinite source of strength and wisdom that we can call upon, symbolized by the sun. The color yellow may be associated with the mind, the organizational faculties, and it can help to bring clarity, joy, wisdom, or illumination. Instead of learning from pain or fear, we find that we can now learn with joy. We ask to release our limiting beliefs, our thoughts of conflict or separation, as we use this color to harmonize thoughts and to bring the mind into alignment with the higher self. As we allow this color yellow to illumine every cell of the body, we feel ourselves rising to that higher aspect of mind, the higher mind that knows what is best for ourselves and best for the whole. We picture now a beautiful sun shining in that solar plexus area, clearing the mind and the emotions as it radiates throughout our being and beyond. We might think of this inner sun rising to join the white light in the heart center. And now we attune to the color green. We may feel the soothing and peaceful effects of green, as this vibration can help to bring balance and harmony to all levels: the mind, the emotions, and the physical body, while attracting the spiritual vibration to us. The color green can help us accept the vibration of love that is always available. We become more aware of that infinite fountain of love within the heart, as we accept this vibration that surrounds us and nurtures us at all times. And as we receive, it becomes easier to give, and we feel ourselves to be in a flow of receiving and giving out and sharing in larger and ever larger circles. As ripples going out now from our heart center, we share this love, this nurturing quality. And from our inner harmony and peace, we nurture the seeds of our heart's desires, bringing forth beauty and abundance, manifesting in the outer world. We feel the energies rising up from the earth and coming down from the spiritual plane, meeting at the heart, revolving together, joining and blending in the heart, and then flowing outward, bringing healing not only to ourselves, but to others. So we willingly partake of this beautiful green vibration and breathe it into every cell of the body. We accept it, and then we share it and allow it to go forth from us as love. And now, as we feel open and balanced in the heart center, we direct our attention to the throat area. And here we attune to the color blue. The vibration of blue can help us to understand and to speak the truth, to use our words well, to align ourselves to the blueprint, the ideal yet unique pattern for our lives. As we allow ourselves to be flooded with waves of brilliant blue, we may begin to realize the divinity within every being. And as we recognize this divine essence, we can express and communicate it more clearly. As this color blue aligns, strengthens, and heals the throat center, we may become aware of some thought or feeling we have not expressed, that we have held back at this point. And we ask that this thought or feeling, this unspoken word, may now be released. As we release the past, and we ask that in the future we may more easily express what is helpful and necessary, loving and true. As the energies are balanced and released in the throat center, we move into the deeper shade of blue called indigo. As we feel ourselves going deeper within, we realize that we are not alone, but more connected with others at this deep space within our mind. We are closer to that source of all. We may become more receptive to the feelings and thoughts of others. And at the same time, we become aware that our thoughts are more powerful from this space that seems so close to the source of creation. The color indigo can help us transcend time and space. We may have memories of the past or glimpses of the future. As we receive insights or create visions with this inner sight, the spiritual vision in the area called the third eye, we ask to use this faculty with wisdom. And so we take a moment as we are in this deep space to visualize some goal, some vision we would share with others, with the world. And we empower this thought with that source light and send it out. As we feel the energies flowing freely throughout our being, our attention moves to the crown or top of the head, and we invite the beautiful violet light to descend now, imagining it flowing through the crown of the head and showering around us. Feel it flowing down through the body, all the way to the soles of the feet, and down the arms to the palms of the hands, and then, as if burning back upward in flames, the transformative energy of this violet light we now feel burning back up through the body, releasing the past, dissolving illusion, releasing blocks and old patterns, freeing us now to be fully present and to evolve according to our highest aspirations. We picture this violet flame burning all through the body. We welcome its energies. For the energy of violet is similar to forgiveness. It gives us the ability to look beyond appearances, to look for the love, the divine love that inspires all life, and to see life now in terms of the larger picture. So we take this opportunity to think of some issue, some circumstance, perhaps a relationship that seems to be in need of forgiveness, that we perceive with less than unconditional love, and we ask that we see beyond that perception to the light of love, as with compassion and mercy we let go. For with this violet vibration, it is easier to understand that all is forgiven. And now we allow a fine shower of gold to come down through the crown of the head and mingle with all the colors around the body. We feel this golden shower of liquid light blending with the violet at the top of the head, swirling with indigo blue throughout the head and in the third eye area. And now the golden light is flowing down into the throat, turning like a galaxy amid sapphire blue. Now this golden light flows through the neck and shoulders, bringing warmth and comfort as it moves into the beautiful heart center, joining with the white source light and radiating through the rose color and a beautiful emerald green around the heart. And now we feel the golden light flowing down the arms and moving also to illumine the solar plexus area, raising the vibration of yellow as it shimmers with the iridescent sheen of wisdom and joy. We now feel the golden light moving down into the abdominal area and pelvic region, refining the healing effects of orange there and helping to bring harmonious balance between the male and female aspects. And now this golden light moves down to the base of the spine, blending with a beautiful ruby red and flowing down now through and around the legs, bringing with it and blending all of those beautiful colors, sparkles of all the colors now flowing through the body, down through the legs and out the soles of the feet, out the palms of the hands, as we feel these energies flowing, washing through us from the spiritual plane, and we offer them now to the earth. We offer our energies in gratitude for being sustained in life here. And the earth joyfully receives this golden light with the distilled colors of all our experiences and thoughts and feelings, which we offer now and share. We picture this golden light and the colors flowing now to the center of the earth, and we see there is an amber glow already shining there, growing brighter from all those who have offered the earth thoughts and prayers of peace and light. And this light in the center of the earth is now growing and shining to the surface. We feel it rising up our legs and body to our heart center, and we imagine this light offered now to the heart of every being upon the planet. Using this power of visualization, we see that light within each one growing brighter, reaching out, sharing the light, until we picture now the surface of the planet glowing with this beautiful golden light and all the colors blending harmoniously together. And the earth becomes brighter and brighter until it shines like a sun out into the universe.
It's going to go to gallery view, and let's all twinkle for that beautiful, beautiful video. Thank you, Lenore. Thank you so much. I'm going to go to your website, which is, it's a beautiful name. It's, oh, whoops, wrong place, sorry. Here we go. And you can find all things Lenore at attunement.life. Attunement.life. It is so much about attunement. Lenore, what would you like for our audience to know about you and your offerings?
Well, first of all, at the top of my page, you'll see the Scottsdale Enlightenment Expo, Soul Search Enlightenment Expo. I'll be there in person on June 15th at 3 p.m.
Great.
So that will be then audio, more of the internal experience than watching a video, and with the group synergy. So we'll all be supporting each other going through this process, which is one of my very favorite things to do. And I don't do it very often live anymore. So that's a great opportunity, and to be at the Soul Search Expo also. And also, when you go to my webpage here, attunement.life, then if you scroll down, Scott, you'll see there's, you can scroll down a little further. It tells more about the process. And here, there's a 5-minute, just those last 5 minutes. So in 5 minutes, you can go to this for the final energy balancing and the vision of world peace. That's only 5 minutes. Some people like to do it every day. And or even just listening to the audio. It's still very helpful for ourselves personally and also for the planet. And then at the bottom of the page, you can subscribe to my newsletter. And if you do that, then you can, well, let's see.
Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Then I'll send a link to the whole video, and you can use it any way that you like to go to that red to pink section if you're feeling frustrated, or the violet flame for transmutation, or even just the very beginning part is so powerful to be breathing in and out of the heart center, as the Institute of Heart Math has shown is very beneficial for our entire body and our energy fields and everyone around us. And for ourselves in times of challenge. That's one of my go-to parts.
Well, thank you, Lenore. I'm going to read a few comments that have come in. A lot of comments actually came in to the video. Carol Craig writes, "This is intriguing and informative. I love learning about colors because I'm light and break down into these colors, and they represent the chakras also." A lot of people saying, love this. Susan Woolrich, I love this, Lenore. And she also points out how Course in Miracles has been informative in her life. More angelic music is pointed out. People appreciating you, Tiara, your angelic voice. A lot of angelic energy tonight. And so hearts and flames and people happy. Kathy writes, beautiful visuals, peaceful and calming. Shoshana writes, Lenore, your voice is special, and thank you for sharing this beautiful video. Vox writes, wow, beautiful and potent imagery. Liam from England writes, thank you, Lenore, that was so inspiring. Scotty Satori writes, so awesome of you, Lenore. Just hearing the nature sounds tuned my inner smile. This is a masterpiece for sure.
And that was 39 years ago. I produced that. But I really want to be sure that people know I also do remote healing, because I found even though we're working on ourselves so hard, meditating, doing our practice, we still have areas of persistent problems, or where we find something that we didn't think was ours coming out of our mouth, or so what I have found with the remote healing, that often there are inherited just imprints, patterns, or from past lives or traumas that we're not even aware of. And I have found that I'm able to pinpoint the most impactful areas to stream coherence to, or to clear, to transform. I'm just given whatever's going to be the very most helpful and important for the person, taking into account up to 3 priorities.
Wow.
So there have been many transformations since I started doing that kind of work, in addition to the attunement process. So I found it's a fantastic combination. Now that you have seen and gone through this, and maybe to another level of forgiveness, of letting go, of integration, but there still might be some areas where you would like a little support with, so that you don't need an appointment or anything. And I'm offering a 20% discount on my healing packages, which are also on that attunement.life page. For the Global Peace Tribe, there's a coupon code, PEACE20.
Oh,
So all in capitals, PEACE 20.
okay. And if you go to her website, attunement.life, about halfway through the website, on the front page is where you can request a session and receive her remote healing services. So thank you so much, Lenore. And I love that you're part of the Soul Search family. And actually,
I love my Soul Search family. I've been mostly behind the scenes, behind the curtain, enjoying almost every show, really, usually the recording. So because of other things happening in my life, living a life, I'm probably in the best health I've been in my whole life.
That's
And
fantastic.
I probably have some idea where I'm up there.
Yeah, great. That's wonderful. Well, when I heard that you live in Cottonwood, and of course our beloved Tangela lives in Cottonwood.
Right.
Right. Your neighbors.
My very home here.
Well, thank you, Lenore. Thank you so much. And we'll be seeing you, I'm sure, again soon.
Thank you, Scott.
What an evening. Wow. So much great. So many beautiful offerings from all of our wonderful presenters. So thanks again to Reverend Jeffrey, Dr. John, Vox, Tiara, Lenore, and of course Desiree and Omashar. I'm kind of knocked out of my body, so I'm going to turn it over to Omashar to close this out, and of course Desiree as well. Oh, hey, and speaking of Desiree, guess what? You can be with her if any of you go to Contact in the Desert. Next weekend is the biggest UFO show of the world, Contact in the Desert. I've been to it several times. I'm not going this year, but Desiree will be there doing energy healing sessions. So I'll put the information about Contact in the Desert into the chat box while Omashar and Desiree bless us with the closing number.
drowns the tender reed, and some say love, it is a razor that leaves your soul to bleed, and some say love, it is a hunger, an endless aching need. I say love, it is a flower, and you, it's only seed. And it's the heart afraid of breaking that never learns to dance. It's the dream afraid of waking that never takes the chance. And it's the one who won't be taken, who cannot seem to give. And the soul afraid of dying that never learns to live. And when the night has been too lonely and the road has been too long, that you think that love is only for the lucky and the strong. But just remember, in the winter, far beneath those bitter snows, lies the sea that with the sun's love in the spring becomes the road. And just remember, in the winter, far beneath those bitter snows, lies the seed that with the sun's love in the spring comes the rose.
Thank you very much, Omashar. Vox is still with us, so I want to acknowledge Vox. Thank you so much. It was amazing. Lenore, thank you. Paul Draper is who I had forgotten, so a big thanks to Paul. And Reverend Jeffrey and your partner, Dr. John. You both stayed up even though it's 11:47 East Coast time. God bless you both. Desiree, thank you so much. You bring so much to us. And of course, our beloved Diara. Thank you so much. Omashar, that was a great cover, by the way, Omashar. That was just, people were in tears.
I rarely bring that one out of the bush. However, for some reason, everything was dictated today. And I said, okay, yes. And it's just such a joy to sing such a wonderful transmission.
Well, it was a beautiful cover of a beautiful song.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, everybody. Well, let's drink a lot of water. get a good night's rest. Go get your copy of A Course in Miracles and start doing it every day. Tune into the Seraphim and all the other things that watch the color video, work with Yara's video. We have a lot of wonderful tools that we learned today, and I'm grateful for all of them. And I will see hopefully all of you on Wednesday night. We're gonna have we're gonna go really deep with Danny Sheehan and Jim Garrison on Wednesday night. So please join us. All right, much love. Have a wonderful weekend. Oh, tomorrow's Sunday. Remember, it's a sacred Sunday when we choose to see the divine